Yes, good morning everyone. So today we will discuss important articles from 1st April 2022, the Hindu newspaper. Okay, let's see which are the important articles. Look at the first page. US Deputy NSA warns India of consequences. Okay, although the statement looks extreme, but the wordings by Deputy NSA, US Deputy NSA was, we can say that, a severe nature as compared to other European nations representative recently visited. Right, recently German, let's say, representative, UK representative. So they also visited India, but they were not pressurizing India. Try to understand. But US has very harsh wordings here. So although this visit by Deputy NSA is just before Russian Foreign Minister visiting India, so we'll see how these developments will unfold from IR section, whether India will change its stand, whether it will align with Russia, whether it will seek to achieve only its national interest, economic interest by continuing trade with Russia in terms of rupee ruble bilateral trade system. Okay, so all these aspects are relevant to our IR section. Okay, yes. So you can see Supreme Court strikes down Tamil Nadu 1 year quota. Okay, so here Tamil Nadu government last year enacted one particular law which provided for 10.5 reservation to one single community, 1 year community within the total MBC, that is most backward communities quota of 20%. Okay, so the argument given by Supreme Court is that it violates the fundamental rights of equality, non-discrimination and equal opportunity of 115 other most backward communities. This was the argument given. So you should know the examples, because Supreme Court is although main, we can say, aspect related to reservation. The important case pending before Supreme Court is EWS quota. More than 50%, 10% EWS quota by the central government. So that case is still pending, whether it will review the earlier judgment of 50% quota in Indra Sahni case 1992. Okay, so all these aspects are relevant to our examination. Now, directly come to page number 6. On bottom side, you can see a dip in Chilika Lake's dolphin population. So there was dolphin census in Odisha's coastal areas, and there it was found that total number of dolphins observed increased. But in Chilika Lake, especially the major population of this Irrawaddy dolphins are found. Already UPSC asked question in prelims examination, I guess in 2017 or 18. Okay, so in Chilika Lake, the Irrawaddy dolphins are found. So again, we will try to find out basic information about Irrawaddy dolphins, their conservation status, where they are found. Okay. On page number 8, on left hand side, two editorials. Cohesion and cooperation, the outcome of BIMSTEC summit is discussed here. Okay, from again, we'll have the closure here. In last 1 week, we have discussed many articles related to BIMSTEC. I guess if you compile all these things, it will be a very good study material for you. We are expecting question on BIMSTEC for sure, because it has given a new fillip, this summit, a new fillip to a revival of this BIMSTEC grouping. So from IR section, it is important. On bottom side, step by step. Now this particular article is having the context of recent Assam-Meghalaya agreement, border dispute agreement. Okay, it is good development from polity perspective, interstate relations. Okay, at the same time, one should understand when we talk about the border disputes of Northeast India. It was in news recently because in last year we have seen the clashes between the CRPF personnel and civilians along the border between Mizoram and Assam. So that has, let's say, once again highlighted the problem or the issue of border dispute between these northeastern states. Okay, and this is the positive development in solving those border disputes. Okay, so we'll discuss some basics of that. Okay, so one article written on India-Nepal ties. So Nepal Prime Minister is going to visit India in next week, I guess. Okay, so after that, again, very good articles will come, the outcome of that visit and all. Then we'll discuss that. Okay. The lead article, this is the criminal attack on privacy. So it is talking about criminal procedure identification bill. Yesterday itself we have discussed one editorial, so it will be kind of repetition. Okay, the provisions of that bill analysis, yesterday we have done that. Okay. Fine. Now moving on. Come to page number 14 directly. Two article, Supreme Court goes faster on delivery of orders. Here, the faster system, very important, we can say that the judicial reforms to ensure justice, quick justice we can say. This particular faster system, fast and secure transmission of electronic records. This faster system is going to be a very important reform when we talk about delay in, we can say, movement of these court orders to the jails. And because of that, the release of the prisoners. Okay, so release of the prisoners was delayed, and this has been considered as one of the violation of fundamental rights. Okay, so it is good development from judicial reforms, we can say. On bottom side, many parts of country to continue to sizzle. So yes, we may expect the heat wave, severe heat wave this month. This has been warned by IMD. Okay, so how IMD declares heat wave condition or severe heat wave condition in India? That criteria you should know from geography perspective. Okay, the temperatures. Fine, we will talk about that. Okay, so these are the important articles. On Friday review supplement, as it is Friday, so Friday review supplement has very good articles related to art and culture perspective. Also the magazine supplement on Sunday. Okay, so one article written on Koodiyattam art form from Kerala. Okay, so we'll try to again revise here from art and culture perspective this theatre art form or performing art form Koodiyattam. Okay. So first article, step by step. Yes, so this article is having the context of recently concluded Assam-Meghalaya border dispute agreement. Okay, one should know what was the dispute. We all know that Assam earlier was the main, we can say, one single state, out of which all other small states were carved out later on, subsequently. है ना, जैसे टाइम पे उसका एरिया कम करके सेपरेट हम बोल सकते हैं कि ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ एथनिसिटी, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ ज्योग्राफी ऑफ दैट रीजन, सेपरेट स्टेट्स वेर कार्व्ड आउट. सो हियर इन दिस केस मेघालय was separated from Assam and made a separate state in 1972. But the border areas, let's say in some districts, like for example East Jaintia, you can give the example East Jaintia and Kamrup district in Assam. Okay, so there has been some areas along the border where there has been conflicting claim or competing claims, over areas, and that's why this has not been demarcated on the ground, and both states claim their, we can say, have the claims over that area. So this has been the major bone of contention. Meghalaya says that these areas have been traditionally part of the tribal chieftains of that region. Okay, while Assam says that this was part of Assam. Okay, so this has been, let's say, the dispute. Now, the background before 2021 is not that much important, but rather last year our Union Home Minister urged all northeastern states to solve their border dispute peacefully before 15th August 2022, when we will celebrate 75 years of our independence. Okay, so this was appealed by Union Home Minister, and yes, Assam at present is being ruled by the same party at center, and this has been a step, we can say, in a positive direction by Assam Chief Minister. ठीक है, किसी ने तो भी एक पैर आगे बढ़ाना चाहिए ना, one step they should come forward to have some kind of negotiation, settlement here. And yes, the Meghalayan Chief Minister has also shown interest here, and both Chief Minister agreed that out of 12 areas where the dispute is there, 6 areas have been solved here. That means there is the partial border dispute agreement, not complete, let's say, dispute have been solved up till now. Okay, तो ये 6 areas पे वो solve हो चुका है on the basis of this agreement. Although you need not to remember the names of those areas. Okay, तो आपको एक दो छोटे से आपको पता हो तो भी that is sufficient. Fine. So yes. Now how it was solved? Yes, when Union Home Minister urged or appealed all these states, then these two states, their chief ministers, they formed six separate committees. Okay, 6 separate committees for these 6 areas, and these members of committees, they themselves visited on the ground in a physical manner, and they interacted with the people of those areas to understand how this, let's say, the traditional links to which, let's say, tribal areas, whether it is part of tribal areas, or we can say that the plain area living people. So after that, it was, let's say, the recommendation by these committees was made, and then this agreement was finalized. तो आपको इतना पता होना चाहिए कि how it was solved. Okay, so that means the political interest, the political commitment, along with, we can say, the people of the both states, they are agreeing on these parts. Then it might serve as a template to solve other boundary disputes in the northeast. Okay, so this is, you can mention about the dispute that Assam is having with its neighboring states, other neighboring state, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Nagaland, major states, we can say. These 3 states, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Nagaland, and we have seen last year the kind of conflict that was there, and many people died in that conflict, Assam and Mizoram. Okay, so it will serve as a template to resolve this other boundary dispute in that region. First thing. Second thing, one should understand here that there should not be deployment of CRPF or armed forces in conflicting areas. What happens because of this? This creates hostilities. It creates hostilities. Rather, there should be state police deployed without arms. Without arms. It will be a kind of civilian approach. Okay, and there will be confidence building among the communities living on either side of the border. Okay, it will not create hostilities. It will be a, we can say, goodwill for further resolving that dispute. When there are hostilities, then it is not a good environment to solve that dispute. Okay, so central government should ensure that CRPF is not deployed there or armed forces. So rather, state police should be deployed. Okay, fine. Now, moving on, cohesion, cooperation, the outcome of fifth BIMSTEC summit. Okay, so positive outcome has happened. So, the adoption of BIMSTEC charter and India's decision to lead the security pillar out of 7 designated pillars of the revived BIMSTEC has given India's regional aspirations a new orientation. Okay, so why it is good development for India? First thing is that the problem with SARC. Okay, so India-Pakistan conflict is not, let's say, a good sign for SARC, working of SARC. So, since 2014 there is no summit. Second thing is that South Asia region, least integrated region in the world, and that's why it is not good for India for, let's say, for boasting as a regional power in Asia if South Asia itself is not integrated, and India is the major country in South Asia, right? Third thing one should understand that the small nations like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, due to lack of, let's say, cooperation from India, they are inclining for investment of China. So, Chinese investment in India's neighborhood will reduce. Rather, India will extend some concessionary loans, or we can say credit, to these countries for infrastructure development, connectivity purpose. Then it will be good for India's exports. Especially, it will act as a connecting link to Southeast Asian region. Okay, so it will connect South Asia to the Southeast Asia region, and therefore India's exports to that region will increase. So it is in line with India's neighborhood policy and Act East policy, okay, foreign policy. So that's why it is good for India. Along with that, when India is going to lead the security pillar, that means from strategic aspect and defense aspect, which is very important in Bay of Bengal region, Indian Ocean region. Okay, so from that aspect, India is gaining some kind of importance. These countries agree that India should lead and take the responsibility of defense. Okay, so this is also good development from that aspect, and we know that Indo-Pacific is gaining the traction in recent times due to revival of Quad in last 2-3 years. So because of that, Bay of Bengal region is going to receive more fillip, and this is in line with revival of BIMSTEC. ठीक है, तो ये इंडिया के लिए काफ़ी important है. Then what needs to be done to sustain it in future? Okay, एक बार अच्छा कर दिया तो उसके बाद छोड़ देना नहीं है इसको अभी. Okay, so yes, first thing is that India should ensure that domestic issues do not affect its bilateral relations with neighboring countries. Like suppose Tamil issue is there, so with Sri Lanka it should not affect. Or water sharing issue is there, Tista water issue, तो बांग्लादेश के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए. नेपाल के साथ अच्छे relations नहीं है अभी भी. ठीक है. So domestic issues should not affect the bilateral and then the multilateral in the grouping relations. So we should ensure this aspect. Second aspect that we should ensure is that India should be concerned about power inequalities in the grouping. Okay, that means small nations like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, these countries should not get concerned or worried about a big brother image of India in the region. So that means there should not be coercion by India on these countries. Okay, then only it will work well. Third thing is that the major bone of contention of BIMSTEC, that is Rohingya issue. And if suppose there is any other issue that crops up, okay, so India should provide the appropriate leadership to solve that issue among these nations. Okay, then only the success of BIMSTEC will sustain. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीज़ें आप उसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं. Yes, in analysis one can easily say that the proposal by our Prime Minister of having free trade agreement, it is going to benefit Indian economy. Along with that, the regional growth will happen, regional economic growth. Second thing is that also the proposal of two aspects. One is related to, we can say, electricity grid, intra-regional electricity grid, and third aspect is, we can say, related to shipping agreement, shipping industry. This has been proposed by our Prime Minister in that summit. So you can imagine that shipping industry is very important aspect of our Sagarmala project. Okay, so we are developing port, we are connecting these ports with the hinterland, with Sagarmala Yojana, okay, road connectivity to the hinterland. So that aspect, electricity grid, we are shifting towards the renewable energy sources. We are trying to build the hydroelectricity in Nepal, Bhutan, okay, in that region. Also, we are trying to build the hydroelectricity in Northeast India, which is untapped potential. And suppose it is linked to Myanmar, suppose it is linked to Bangladesh and Bhutan. With Bhutan already it is linked. So it will be a kind of boost to export of that electricity, clean electricity to the neighboring nation of BIMSTEC. And then northeastern region will develop from that revenue. See, पीछे की थोड़ा सा हमें कनेक्ट करना है कि why India is talking about this, why our Prime Minister is talking about. We are going to be a civil servant. Okay, and surely this advice may be given by civil servant only. Secretaries ने भी तो बताया होगा ना उनको कि ये सही है, ऐसे बोलना चाहिए. प्राइम मिनिस्टर के ही सारे व्यूज़ नहीं होंगे, राइट? सो ऑफ कोर्स, तो हमें ये जानना है कि क्या है, क्यों रीज़न है. सो ऑल दीज एस्पेक्ट्स आर देयर. फाइन. So yes, in analysis you should talk about how it is going to benefit India along with all these small nations for the regional growth, South Asian and Southeast Asian regional growth. Okay, so simple question can be there. The revived BIMSTEC will give new orientation to India's regional aspirations. Discuss in the light of outcome of 5th BIMSTEC summit, or there can be examine also command. Okay, when we say the examine, then the positives you should write, then the challenges you should write, and the way forward you should write. Fine. Supreme Court goes faster on delivery of orders. Fast and secured transmission of electronic records. Faster. So it was inaugurated by Chief Justice of India. The platform would be used by the court officials to instantly send e-copies, electronic copies of orders through a secured electronic communication channel to the intended parties. Intended parties can be police stations or jails. Okay, so yes, Chief Justice of India has said faster would aid cause of quick and effortless justice. Up till now, what used to happen is, it should be printed, then it should be delivered to that jail, and it used to take almost 3-4 days, 5 days. And the Hindu team last year had given one case, several prisoners in Agra jail forced to remain behind the bars for 3 days after the court granted them bail because the hard copies of the order did not reach the prison officials. ठीक है, उसके बाद ये सुओ मोटो रिकॉग्निशन लिया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इस पर्टिकुलर केस का. ठीक है, Now, what will be further significance of this system? It will let's say ensure that under trials are not made to wait for days on end behind bars to be released, because the certified hard copies of their bail orders took time to reach the prison. ठीक है, तो ये डिले होने की वजह से अंडर ट्रायल्स जो है उनको बेल मिला है या उनको छोड़ दिया गया है, फिर भी वो जेल में. हाउ कैन अ पर्सन रिमेन बिहाइंड द बार्स if that person is officially announced that order to be released from the jail?
So this was in news during Aryan Khan case also.
Yes, during Aryan Khan case also. कैसे वो उन्होंने बराबर फ्राइडे के टाइम पे या ऐसा कुछ डे आया था और उसके बाद 2-3 दिन तक या एक दिन कुछ तो डिले हुआ था वो उसकी वजह से. हाँ ठीक है, अब वो तो सोच सकते हैं कि विद इन सिटी है, ठीक है, तो दूर होगा कोई और जेल में होगा तो और ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम. It will also prevent unnecessary arrest and custody of the people even after the court had already granted them its protection. कभी कभी जो है कोर्ट पहले ही उनको प्रोटेक्शन देता है बेल के लिए, ठीक है, तो बेल अगेंस्ट द अरेस्ट, ठीक है, तो उस वो भी ऑर्डर अगर पहले से पहुंच जाए तो अननेसेसरी अरेस्ट बच जाता है, ठीक है. यस, सो जुडिशियल रिफॉर्म्स, you should be aware about that from polity perspective. Dip in Chilika Lake's dolphin population. Yes, so there was dolphin census in coastal areas of Odisha, and the dolphin population has in its water bodies has increased, but the number of Irrawaddy dolphins in Chilika Lake has fallen. This is the outcome of that study. Total 6 species of dolphins have been recorded. Irrawaddy dolphin, bottlenose dolphin, humpback, striped, finless and spinner dolphins. 6 types. Okay, the lake, which is a major tourist attraction for its Irrawaddy dolphins, saw the number of its flagship aquatic animal drop sharply from 162 in 2021 to 151 this year. Talking about this Irrawaddy dolphin, it is oceanic dolphin found near sea coasts and estuaries and rivers in the parts of Bay of Bengal and Southeast Asia. The only concentrated lagoon population are found in Chilika Lake in Odisha in India, Songkhla Lake in southern Thailand. There was question in prelims examination 2018 I guess, that in which of the following areas the major population of Irrawaddy dolphins is found. Okay, so that Chilika Lake was option there, and in India major population is only found in Chilika Lake. Conservation status endangered IUCN Appendix 1 of sites and Schedule 1 highest protection under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay. Then many parts of the country to continue to sizzle. Here basically it is warning by IMD, or information given by IMD, India Meteorological Department, that the different parts of the countries they may face heat waves. Temperature in March month were higher than normal, particularly in Gujarat, Rajasthan, several parts of northern India. Multiple heat waves were reported this month. Okay, heat wave to severe heat wave conditions were observed in most parts of Rajasthan, Delhi, isolated pockets of South Haryana. Now, some criteria that is relevant to our prelims examination. A region is considered to be under the grip of heat wave if the maximum temperature reaches at least 40 degrees Celsius or more in the plains region and at least 30 degrees Celsius or more in hilly regions. Minimum temperature, and when the actual temperature or maximum temperature is 4.5 to 6 degrees above average, then IMD declares heat wave. That means एवरेज होता है ना, उसका एनुअल एवरेज होता है उस मंथ में, उस डे पे, नॉर्मली उस जगह पे कितना टेम्परेचर होता है, वो एवरेज होता है. बट एक्चुअल में उस दिन अगर 6 डिग्री सेल्सियस 4.5 टू 6 डिग्री सेल्सियस एवरेज से ज़्यादा हो, ठीक है, तो उससे हम ये हीट वेव कहेंगे. एंड सीवियर हीट वेव इज डिक्लेयर्ड व्हेन रिकॉर्डेड मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर इज ओवर 6.4 डिग्री सेल्सियस फ्रॉम द नॉर्मल. ओके. Then Koodiyattam, from art and culture perspective, it is performing art form in the state of Kerala. Then it is a combination of ancient Sanskrit theatre with elements of Kuthu, an ancient performing art of Sangam era. Then officially recognized by UNESCO as masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage of humanity. The main actor is a Chakyar community, or from the male from the Chakyar community, who performs the ritualistic Kuttu and Koodiyattam inside the temple. Chakyar women, Ilattamas, are not allowed to participate. Instead, the female roles are played by Nangyarama, a woman of the Ambalwasi Nambiar caste. They participate as a female role. Specific है थोड़ा. Koodiyattam performances are often lengthy and elaborate, ranging from 12 to 150 hours, spread across several days or several nights. Okay, so this is Koodiyattam. Yes. What should be answered here? Yes, about Koodiyattam, we have to find the correct statement. So, it is a traditional performing art form in the state of Tamil Nadu. This is incorrect, no? Kerala. कौन से स्टेट से है ये? केरला से. So it is incorrect. Then it has elements of Kuttu and ancient performing art of Sangam era. So this is correct. One can get confused कि Sangam era तमिल नाडु. हाँ, तो exact knowledge चाहिए उसके लिए. It is officially recognized by UNESCO as masterpiece of oral and intangible heritage. This is correct. So 2 and 3, that is B is the correct answer here. Okay? Yes, B is correct answer. Okay, good. Fine. Any question? Okay then, let us stop. Thank you.